All right, we're going to go live now to Meghan Schiller. She's speaking live with the CEO of the Pittsburgh, the Jewish Federation.
Right now on KDKA. So for everyone that's tuning in right now, can you say your name and explain your title for people that are watching at home? What do you manage?
I am Jeff Finkelstein. I'm the CEO of the Jewish Federation of Greater Pittsburgh. We are the main fundraising planning organization for the Jewish community. Part of our function actually is we employ a Jewish community security director who is actually on his way in. He's a 28-year veteran with the FBI, so we look at the issue of security throughout the Jewish community.
Where were you this morning when you heard the news first?
I was in my house here in Squirrel Hill.
Can you paint a picture of how, when you heard that, what was going through your head at that moment?
I was in Israel till yesterday, and landed back in Pittsburgh late yesterday afternoon. And a little jet lagged, and when I heard that, everything just total sadness, emotion, worry, and I ran over here as quickly as I could.
I heard that someone who I believe oversaw the synagogue previously, that you guys have had discussions in the past about this kind of situation, that the FBI has come and consulted on this kind of thing. Is that the case?
Yeah, that is correct. We've done lots of training on things like active shooters, and we've looked at hardening facilities as much as possible.
Describe for me how many people would have been inside the synagogue on a Saturday morning, and what types of people would have been in there, what they would have been doing.
So I can't tell you exactly how many were in there. It depends if there was some type of bar mitzvah or other special event which would bring more people. I would guess a Tree of Life, a typical Saturday morning, would have, at that time in the morning, maybe 50, 60 people, I guess.
You talked to Mayor Bill Peduto. What did he pass along to you?
He just said we'll do everything he can. The city will do everything it can to help out. And I also heard from Keith Rothfuss this morning, who's on his way here as well. Really appreciate all the help from our local politicians.
Do you have security guards there during Saturday morning services? How big is security an issue for you guys?
I'm not a member of Tree of Life. I can't comment on their security practices. You'll have to talk to someone from the congregation.
And officer, we just heard from Chris Togneri that there is at least one, he was in custody, the shooter's in custody. Hearing that, and then after what's been happening this morning, how does that make you feel, sir?
Now I'm just sad. I'm really, I don't know what to tell you. My heart goes out to all these families. This should not be happening, period. It should not be happening in a synagogue. It should not be happening in our neighborhood here in Squirrel Hill.
Can you describe the situation at Wilkins and Shady? We're told it's not just one synagogue, right? There's a couple buildings there.
There's one building. There are several congregations that share the same building.
Can you tell me a little bit, if in that room, if people were trying to get out of that room, are there a number of exits available for that? What does it look like?
I don't know which room they were in this morning. I can't comment. I'm sorry.
What's next for you in your position? What do you have to do? Who do you have to call?
So we're already in touch. I've been in touch with my colleague Brian Schreiber, the CEO at the JCC, and with our Jewish Community Security Director Brad Orsini and our Community Relations Director, and we're going to figure out what we need to do as a community to pull together, and that'll probably happen over the next 24 hours.
There are many cities that are streaming Pittsburgh News Live that are not familiar with Pittsburgh, and they don't understand the Jewish community in Squirrel Hill. Can you paint the picture for people that are watching that don't know Squirrel Hill?
Yeah, so Pittsburgh is very unique as far as its Jewish community goes. A little over 50, we just finished a community study, and it shows that a little over 50% of the Jewish community of greater Pittsburgh lives in or around this one neighborhood of Squirrel Hill. It's a high concentration of the Jewish community. It makes it very special, actually.
And just for people who are joining us right now, could you just repeat who you are, sir, and where you're with?
Yeah, I'm Jeff Finkelstein. I'm the president and CEO of the Jewish Federation of Greater Pittsburgh.
Our other reporter, Andy Sheen, said it's a conservative synagogue. Can you describe what that means?
A conservative synagogue is one that is traditional yet open to change and adaptation to modernity. I think is the easiest way to say it. Sorry.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thanks.